Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Not the normal show here. Don't have all my graphics. Don't even have lights working in this room. But we're going to keep going. I've got 5 plays here for Tuesday in the W. Coming off 4 straight winning nights. Looking really good right now. I'll go through the record with you guys real quick. But another reminder, if you do jump into the comments of this video, give me your best bet. And that will make you eligible to go ahead and get the $50 if we sweep today's card. So we got 5 plays, looking to go 5-0, looking to give out that $50. If you are jumping in the comments and letting me know what you guys are betting on, automatically eligible. So make sure you do that. Definitely want to subscribe to the page as well. Don't miss any of these as we keep going here in the WNBA. Get ready for NFL. Let's jump into it. As mentioned, a 3-3 day here on a couple of days ago on Sunday, but still up 1.22 units because we portioned those things correctly. Only put a half unit on a couple of things that we weren't quite as confident in, but wanted to play a little bit on that day. So we're going to keep it moving here, feeling good about the season record as well, up to above about 18 games above 500, for lack of a better way to say it. 15.77 units as well, which is what we really like to see the most. So we're going to keep it going here with our bets for Tuesday. First of the 3 games here, Storm and the Mystics, and we're taking the Mystics to cover because they should have been covering a couple tough games against Minnesota recently, but this team is healthy and turned around. Now, they are going to be without Carly Samuelson. That's not ideal, but they've been okay without her this season, actually at about 500 in the games that she's missed. So not quite as worried about that. Feeling really good about this matchup in the way that the Mystics limit what you want to do in the paint. They have been getting back in the fast break as well. And this Seattle team, which we expected to be a much better and more lethal three-point shooting team, has not been such this season, which means they're not getting very many easy baskets because they don't get into the paint quite as often. Bottom 5 team in terms of the amount of points that they score from there. So we know that we've got the best paint defense going up against a not very good paint offense. They're going to need to hit a lot of threes, and that's not something I trust Seattle to do right now. So we're going to take Washington to avenge a 32-point loss earlier in the season and cover the 7.5 they need in this one. Couple more plays from this game, starting with Ariel Atkins. And we're going with an over on her points in this one, pretty much entirely because Carly Samuelson is out. And there has been a pretty strong correlation between Ariel's ability to get to the bucket and make some shots, take some shots, and Samuelson not being in. You can see when she's in at about 14.5 points per game. So still what she would need to get in this one. But 13 field goal attempts, over a 9 of 19. So not quite a bet that I would feel as comfortable with if Samuelson was in. But without her, 18 points a game, 15 field goal attempts, a couple more shots for her, and a bunch more minutes. She's at about 23 or 24 and a half minutes with Samuelson, 28 minutes without her. So she's looking a lot better in these games and a lot more vital part of the offense when she's the key guard on the floor for the Mystics. The other thing here is that the Storm defense has been bad as in the last couple games since coming back from the break, especially guarding the perimeter, which is a place that they've been really good. They're still a top 3 teams in terms of limiting above the break 3-pointers, but Atkins is able to get into the lane a bit more, hit that floater, and has a little bit of a mid-range game. So feeling good about her ability in this matchup, especially with Samuelson out. By now, you should know how much I love Shakira Austin and her game. So we're going right back to her, as she's made much money every time we go over because she's gone over so often, right? So 17.5 points and rebounds, just hit this bet in their last game as well. Unable to beat the Lynx in that one, but she still came to play, get about 21 PR in that one, 16 points, 5 boards. I don't want to have to figure out which one. I still love the 17.5. This is a number she's gone over in 7 of 8 games that she's actually been on the floor this season. And that's only in about 21 minutes per game. Now you talk about the matchup. Seattle, not good at defending down low. It's just that simple. One of the worst teams limiting in the paint. They give up the second most post-ups, the most points per game to the pick and roll roller, which is going to be Shakira Austin more often than any other player on this team. 5th most offensive points off of free throws as well. That's what the Storm defense has allowed. So all of the ways that Shakira Austin likes to score, free throws, post-ups, putbacks, rolling to the paint, everything in the paint, that's going to be Shakira Austin's world, and she's going to dominate it. It's a big reason why I feel good about the Mystics covering, and I really love her to get at least 18 points and rebounds in this one. As mentioned, a number of bets from this game. So final bet from the Mystics game here is going to be Stephanie Dolson. Got to go under for her. And that's the correlation here with Shakira Austin being back. 10.5 points. This would be lower, except for she just hit 23 points against the Lynx. And it's because she went 100% from the field. 8 for 8 from the field. 6 for 6 from deep against the Lynx. Made a free throw as well. So didn't miss a single shot from any part of the floor. But now we've got Austin back. And this is another case of the prop not really adjusting to the fact that her minutes drop and her usage drops entirely. Fewer shots, 5 fewer minutes, really big deal here. 28 minutes to 23 minutes for Dolson when she's on the floor when Austin is in the game. 5 fewer minutes per game. The points go down to under the 10.5 that we would need. She's at 11 when she's playing without Shakira Austin. She gets more minutes, a couple more shots, over in more games without Shakira Austin, as we know. But now that we've got Austin back in here, and we've got a Storm defense that, as much as they've been giving up stuff to guards, they still don't give up stuff to spot up shooters or above the break. And that's what Stephanie Dolson needs to do, is get those buckets open off of spot up, off of other players driving and kicking. But the defense on guards should be good enough for the Storm, just not going to be good. It's also going to be good enough to limit what the guards want to do when they're passing off of that stuff. So I didn't really like Atkins' assists for this reason. I do think she's going to be open to take a bunch more shots and have the ball in her hands a lot more. Dolson's somebody who should see her usage and her attempts go down against a pretty good perimeter defense. Last bet here is from the Sun game against the Sparks, a game they should win by a ton. And so I don't love betting against the Sparks or on any players when they're in Sparks games right now, because this team is terrible. So the Sun, they should cover, haven't looked quite as good. I think they have a couple things to figure out. And one of them is how Dejanay Carrington is going to fit within this offense now that we've got Marina Mabrey in there. Last game, Carrington came back after a one-day absence for a personal reason. Now she's back in the lineup. And last game she was as well. Didn't get the boards there. Don't think she's going to get them here. This is just too high of a number for somebody who's averaging about 5 rebounds per game. But if you dive into it a little bit further, when Carrington and the Sun play against a team that is in the top half of the league in terms of rebounding, not as good, right? So you look at the games that she's played versus the top 6 rebounding teams, and Connecticut's one of them. So we went from 2 to 7 basically in terms of best rebounding squads. And there's been 14 games, under in 10 of them. I will also say the minutes were strongly there for her, and you could bank on her playing about 30 minutes per game up until Mabrey came in and started to eat into that time, which I think will happen again. We saw her play 22 minutes in this last game, the first one that she's played with Mabrey. That's not something we can just rely on entirely for projecting her minutes, but we can rely on it being something that helps us think, okay, she's probably going to be capped at about 25 these days, as opposed to getting the full 30 with Mabrey out there who's shooting they need. And Tyasha Harris, they like to make sure she gets about 20 minutes as well. So that makes it a little bit crowded. The minutes alone is enough for me to feel good that Carrington's stuff is going to start to go down a little bit. And then you've got the Sparks, who are only good at one thing, and that is rebounding and limiting the other team's rebounds. So that is the one prop that I feel good going under. A little bit of a bankroll builder here. You only get minus 160 on it, but I still like this number to go under so confidently for Carrington. And that is all the time I have for you in this shortened version. We'll be coming back as soon as I'm back home, have my graphics fully updated. Maybe you can get some lights on in here so I don't look like I'm recording for you in the dark, and we'll keep it going. But definitely make sure to subscribe to that page. Also got the link to the Discord in the description of this video. So do jump in there. Got some really helpful tools, some discounts for things like for Discord. We got discounts for outlier.bet, props.cash. So definitely jump into the description of the video to grab all those links. And until I see you next, happy betting.